one pour and 4 fantastic acrylic pour paint projects: glass, wood, canvas, and paper. To begin with, I am using a glass vase, and I cleaned it off with a little bit of alcohol on the inside and the outside. I am using a tri-split pour cup here. The colors I'm going to be using are metallic tangerine, arctic white, green apple, ice blue metallic, purple flash, lavender, and gold. I'm also applying my colors with single color applications in small cups. You can see I allow the spinner to do its magic, and sometimes when I am pouring, I do a diagonal run across the surface, and at other times I just make a straight line so that the spinner has one solid color running the circumference of this vase. The beauty of acrylic pour paint is that they really take on a life of themselves. I love to watch how they blend and how they move, and I love getting to play with what colors I want to layer. And as I'm starting to really fill in the glass voids with color, I also watch where the paint's going to blend into those spaces. I definitely want to give it the opportunity to do its natural blending, and at the same time I want to make sure that I'm adding enough color so that the spread is capable of going over the glass voids. I go back to my tri-split cup. It's fun to pour more than one color at a time. The whole process is just so relaxing to do. You can see the purple flash and lavender coming against that metallic tangerine. It's just fun to see the motion, the lines, the ice blue metallic at the top rim and throughout the vase gives a nice reflective shine, and I give little tips of it here and there. So the story of that blue continues throughout the entire surface of the glass. Now with my arctic white, down some of the colors too and mix with it while giving a nice dynamic. A little to the rim. And sometimes I actually press the edge of my cup. That helps it blend some of those open voids. Sometimes I like open voids with my glass work, but on this particular vase, I want it to have a pretty solid surface. I leave the lip and the base transparent, but the bulk of the surface I want pretty covered with the acrylic pour paint. So I'm just pressing gently with that paper cup and helping it, while at the same time adding some of that white to it. The gold looks really pretty in there as well, with delicate shining surfaces amongst the many lines of color in the circumference of this vase. I'm allowing this turner to go on all night. I will let it turn for about 24 hours, and of course always check to make sure that your electrical is not running hot. Safety first whenever you're using anything mechanical. And all these little tiny lines look great. I am just getting pretty satisfied with the amount that I've covered, and you can see the runoff down below, which will be my next project. I have placed a black canvas board down below to catch the extra runoff. I hate wasting paint, and of course you'll see how many different projects I do with it. Here I'm just allowing the heavy paint to go almost to the edges, but not quite. Have some really wonderful movements in there and mixes and blends. And let's go with our wooden coasters. This is a press technique where I apply a little bit of pressure and my goodness, it is gorgeous. My second wooden coaster is ready and gently pull up. Oh, so pretty! Just gorgeous, this press technique. And off to some area I haven't touched yet. My third wooden coaster and holding the board back. Look at that mixture. Stunning. I love it. Okay, for the final one, so we make a nice set of 4 coasters. Let it take in the paint. And oh yeah, another gorgeous press. Now to my third project. Here I am using my fan brush to spread this pour and to swipe and make pretty little mixtures just to give it a nice little cover over the black canvas board. And I move my fan brush until I'm satisfied with the motions that I'm making. I'm getting ready for a press technique. Here we go. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with this. I take a heavy gauge of watercolor paper and press it against my black board canvas. Let's see what we created in a monoprint. Wow! That orange metallic and all the greens that have come together in this acrylic pour paint. Those gorgeous lines and hues of gold. Here we have everything drying. The golds and purples, greens. The canvas that I did with those stunning lines are so neat. And this paper monoprint, I can't wait for it to dry so I can do what I want to do with it. On the blackboard, you can see that nice black color come through in contrast to the oranges and greens, golds. For my monoprint, I decide I want to cut it down to a specific size and capture an image that I see. I framed it and I love the way that I can see the delicate nature of the lines and the colors. This black frame is a perfect contrast. All of this got to dry overnight and it did a good job within 24 hours of drying. I just let it air dry and my spinner was spinning my glass. I wanted to add some color to my black canvas. I've got a balloon. Let's add some paint with it. I really see coral and kind of a seascape here, so I decide to add some fun paint to the top of it. These are the paints from yesterday. I covered them with a little plastic wrap overnight and put them in a little palette so I could dip my balloon in it. I like to have a couple of colors on there, and I'm just going to play around and place the balloon in areas that I want, doing that purple and lavender blues. And you can see when I press on it, I'm getting some pretty variegated little lines as well, kind of giving that pretty shape that I see underneath with the oranges and the greens and the golds. And just playing around. You always want to make sure to place some of the edge off of the frame because that's how it is in nature. It doesn't all fall within that rectangular space. So I just go around playing and pressing. Out some of the intensity, so I wipe it off and press and lift off some of the paint, and at the same time allowing those lines to still be there so you can see through them. And I'm going to add a little more, so it's really up to you to decide what you want to do with your canvas, but for me here, I wanted to give a nice pop of that color. Pretty satisfied with the amounts of lavenders and blues, and feel that I want to add a little gold. So I go off to my tri-split cup and add it with my paintbrush onto the outside of my balloon and give it a little push so that these little pretty formations are muted with the gold and highlighted with the gold at the same time. Just starting to look like a more harmonious piece with contrast, but not too much, so it's not too distracting, but more blending into this pretty little sea creation. I painted on an acrylic varnish on my wood coasters. You can see these colors are stunning after they are dried. I am in love with the press technique. The lavender and purple seascape really came out beautifully. I love the gold highlights against the purple. And the glass vase. Wow, the lines and the motions, all of the colors of the acrylic pour paint that I let just flow for 24 hours has created this story of blending that is gorgeous. The inside of it is so pretty as well. And I did paint on some acrylic varnish to seal this glass. Thank you so much for joining me today and taking a big adventure while we play with acrylic pour paint. I'm always looking for ways to save paint with runoffs, and here we've created multiple projects. I really appreciate you joining me, and as always, I am wishing you very happy acrylic pour painting creations. Have a great day.